Welcome into the Cowboys Report, as that game was just an absolute disaster, which your undercarriage might be right now if you're not using Manscaped. Appreciate Manscaped sponsoring today's show. Their men's grooming products, one of the only positive things coming out of this game. As the Dallas Cowboys, the final score says 30-16. Man, it really wasn't even all that close. The Cowboys, in what actually was garbage time, they were down 30-0. Then they got some points late in the fourth quarter. It hides what was a really one of the worst showings I've seen from this Dallas Cowboys team in a very long time. Maybe in as long as Mike McCarthy's been there. Maybe that's some recency bias, but that performance was, in a word, unacceptable. Look, you lose games. If I told you at the beginning of the year you'd be 6-2, you'd be feeling great. But that game was a joke, man. I mean, everything that could have gone wrong for the Cowboys more or less did. You couldn't get any third downs early on offense. You were like 1 of 9 to start the game, 0 of 3 on fourth down, something along those lines. Even when you did something well, like block a punt, a moment that could have changed the game for the better for Dallas, you have Nashawn Wright touch it behind the line of scrimmage, and apparently that's a fumble and a muff punt, which I'll be honest, I didn't know. Not sure, a big fan of that rule. Broncos recover it. So even though they only gained 4 yards on the punt, they got the first down, then they go score on that drive. Your quarterback was inaccurate for a good portion of the game. When he was accurate, his receivers dropped the football. Left tackle Terrence Steele sucked. Right tackle La'el Collins wasn't much better. The defense couldn't stop a nosebleed in terms of stopping Javonte Williams. Frankly, only a few players showed up in this game. Hats off to Micah Parsons. Zeke Elliott gutted through some injury stuff and I thought played decently. Dalton Schultz made some plays late, but this Cowboys team, all the goodwill, all the confidence we had going into that game, man, a lot of it went away. I think this is the worst game by the Cowboys in a fairly long time. Like, that was a absolutely disastrous showing, and I don't even think the final score is reflective of that. The Cowboys offense had 16 points, and all of those, by the way, I got the box score pulled up for me right now, of their 16 points and 290 total yards, all 16 of them came on their final 2 drives, 75 yards and 65-yard scoring drive. Almost half of their yards came on the final 2 drives, and that's when most of their third and fourth down pickups came as well. Dallas was bad in this one. They did not play well. And look, the offense allowed 16 points in the first half, and then they allowed 14 points in the second. Now, the defense, I think, very much was gassed later on in that game. We can bring up the defensive stats here. The defense didn't play great either. Again, there's not much, if anything, really, that went the way of the Cowboys. They got some sacks. They sacked Bridgewater 4 times. It's about where the positives end, quite frankly. So we're going to spend a lot more time, and we'll all melt down together. Grade the Cowboys against the Denver Broncos. A, which I don't know why I put that on there, or even B, frankly. A, B, C, D, or F. I'm flunking them. I'm giving them an F, but I want to hear from you. So you can get the ad break here on YouTube. Head down to the comments and cast your votes. You can be mean if you so choose. Now, when the Cowboys lose, much blame or credit when they win is often paid to the quarterback, and that is absolutely fair. And make no mistake about it. Dak Prescott was not good today. He did, in fact, he played bad. Let's call it what it was. That stat line was very much buoyed by those final 2 drives, which, for the record, not sure I love Dak being out there in that situation. A quarterback draw when the game is over for a 2-point try. Not sure I like that one very much either. Dak was not good today. There's no way around it. The numbers don't look maybe as bad as they were in the first 3/4 of the game, but Dak Prescott was not good. But I think that is true for maybe almost every player and coach. Nobody was good outside of one guy we'll get to later on for the entirety of the game. Terrence Steele, the offensive line, they weren't good either. Terrence Steele, not a left tackle. I mean, he struggled in that game. He got beat. Put this in perspective for you guys, folks. The Cowboys' offensive line got beat up by a backup Broncos offensive line. Like, that's where we're at. Terrence Steele, Collins, they got beat by backups. The Cowboys' defensive line got beat by an injured Broncos offensive line. That was a disastrous showing for the Dallas Cowboys. The O-line did not play well. There's no way around it. The entire offense didn't play well. When the passes were inaccurate, receivers didn't bail out Dak. When they were accurate, Cooper, Lamb, Pollard, they all dropped big-time plays. And that cannot happen for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, what can happen off the field is having your stuff unclean, and a little bit long and lengthy. That's not what you want, at least not with the hair itself. You can get 20% off and free shipping when you go over to manscaped.com and you use promo code Cowboys. That is 20% off and free shipping on all their fantastic men's grooming products. Maybe some of the Cowboys players themselves could use some boost off the field because that showing was not very good. You can check out Manscaped. That link and the promo code, by the way, will be in the comment section and in the description. We're sticking negative here because, how can you not, right? Trevon Diggs wasn't good either. Tim Patrick beat him multiple times in this game. He did not have a good showing. There was a chance to make a big play, and Patrick burnt him deep for a touchdown when Diggs just didn't really get his head around very well. A feeling all too familiar for Cowboys fans. So my next question for you guys is this. Who is to blame for the Dallas Cowboys loss? I think this is one of those games where outside of 2-3 players, which is, I think, Malik Turner played great, by the way, and a guy we'll get to, Micah Parsons, in a minute, I think you could put a name in the comments or a coach in the comments, and you would be right. Because this truly was a full team loss. Your defense, somehow, Teddy Bridgewater had a much better game against the Cowboys than Kirk Cousins did. Javonte Williams ran all over you, could not stop him. You were missing tackles left and right. Your trench play was terrible. Your receivers had issues catching the football. Dak was under pressure way more than he ever has been all year, I think. This was a true full team loss. Now, I do want to spend a little bit of time here on the positive side. How about Osa Odigizua? And this was really more of the early showing from Osa. Now, box score gave him 1 TFL, and I don't think any quarterback hits, but he made some splash plays early. But there's this part too. As we'll get into more in depth, man, you really let that ground game run all over you. As a defensive tackle, Osa is certainly a part of that. So I was impressed by Odigizua, maybe even Carlos Watkins too a bit in the first half. But they got tired. That run D, they looked way too much like your 2020 run defense. And that was a concern for me going in. And I think that's kind of the blueprint to beating Dallas to an extent. If you can run the football, you're going to have success overall. In the end, 190 yards on the ground for Denver. That's a recipe for losing. Now, Micah Parsons played awesome. This is I think the one player you go, you know what? It wasn't his fault. 10 tackles, 2.5 sacks, 3 TFLs. I thought Parsons built on another great game last week and was, frankly, just as good this week. I thought Parsons, if there was an MVP, which if you don't want to give one out, period, I get it. I think Parsons was your MVP in this game. Overall, I thought Parsons and Osa played pretty well on defense. You shut down Cortland Sutton, 1 catch for 9 yards, but Judy and Patrick had good games overall. I was very underwhelmed and disappointed by how the Cowboys fared in this game. I think that overall, a lot of us, myself included, came in feeling great about this Cowboys team. You stole one against Minnesota. Now your quarterback's back. Denver's beaten 0 good teams all year, and you lay an egg. This felt like one of those games where the Cowboys spent a little bit too much time watching their own press clippings, reading them, smelling their own farts, and feeling great. And they came out flat for the first time really all year. So how worried are you then about this Dallas Cowboys team? I came in on the lower end. Now I'm higher. Now, look, it is perfectly reasonable, understandable to be mad about this game, and you should be. You were down 30-0 to Denver, and they have not been great the past month plus. Now, if I had told you at the beginning of the year, hey, you would exit this game, you're 6-2. We'd all be feeling really good. So I'm not at a 10. But I'm above a 1 right now, and I want to hear from you guys in the comments section. Big reason why I'm so concerned here is the ground game between Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams. Gordon had a heavy workload, only averaged 3.8 yards per carry. And there were multiple times in that game where the Cowboys defense just felt like playing patty cake out there. Javonte Williams, on one run, his 30-yarder that's stuck in my brain forever, hit short of the first down marker, and yet found a way to get 30 yards. He just kept, Justin Hamilton didn't bring him down. It was a disastrous situation. The Cowboys defense missed way too many tackles. That is unacceptable. They did not play well. That, especially the interior defense, I'm not sold on it yet. Now, Zeke Elliott did kind of leave and return to the game a couple of different times with his own knee issue. Sounds like he's okay. I don't think the Cowboys are that concerned as we sit right now. He did check back in late in the game as the Cowboys tried to score late, which I was a bit confused and concerned by. I thought Zeke was probably your best offensive player. Cooper had the brutal drop. Lamb, he and Dak were just on the same page for a reason today. There were a couple of routes where Lamb slowed down or didn't slow down, and Dak thought he was. There was issues left and right. Schultz made some plays left, and then Blake Turner played very well in the end. So I think Zeke is going to be okay there. If he's not, we will let you guys know. He, by the way, very much outplayed Tony Pollard, who had a nice catch, 32 yards, and not much else in that one. But if you want free Cowboys videos, simply hit that big red button and subscribe today, folks. All right, some news I want to hit here as well, just briefly in case you missed it Saturday, since I did not do a video on it because I was at a wedding. Blake Jarwin has been placed on IR for the Dallas Cowboys. He will miss at least 3 games with a hip injury. Now, I'm not overly panicked on that front right now for Jarwin, but he is going to miss some time. Sean McEwen, by the way, did return for the Cowboys. He was active in this game for the first time all season. I think he caught one pass. No, he's targeted twice. Pulled another. I thought he almost caught one. Did not bring it down in the end. He's your new tight end 2. Schultz remains tight end 1. Jeremy Sprinkle played some as well. The Cowboys rotated their backup receivers. Blake Turner got the most run he's ever had in his Cowboys career. Yay! They scored twice. Cool. It didn't matter. That game was an absolute just disaster in the end for Dallas. And to make, as part of the move when they put Jarwin on IR, they also brought up Justin Hamilton. Now, Hamilton, I thought last week, played really well. Several splash plays, and he had some of those today as well. He finished the game with 2 tackles, had a couple pressures as well, I thought. And a couple run plays he was a victim of getting beat up on. So I am raising my concern level over the Cowboys team, but they are 6-2. But hopefully this game serves as a bit of a wake-up call for a team that very clearly needed it. They should have blown out Denver. Instead, they got blown out. That's not good for the Cowboys.